Welcome to Flaktest Gaming, the eSports live show. I'm Jacob and I'm alone here in the studio this week. Pete has been given the day off for some rest and relaxation ahead of next Sunday when we kick off the playoff week here for the Flaktest Interschool National Esports League of Legends Championship for 2017. That's Season 1, the first time we have gone national. And as we move into playoff week, we're going to be getting very close to finding out which two teams are in the grand final this year. And the special thing this year is that if you're a team who's not already in Perth, Western Australia, you're over east, you're in Melbourne, Sydney, Tasmania, doesn't matter where you are, we will fly you, if you're in the grand final, to Perth to perform in front of a live audience. Very exciting. So stick around next week. That will be kicking off on Sunday. We have a free-to-play game review today called Gigantic. It's a free-to-play game that people are saying is better than Overwatch. So you'll have to find out a bit later on whether that's true or not. And we've also got the game highlights from everything that happened last week for League of Legends, as well as some Overwatch and CSGO games in there as well. But first, let's take a look at the news. The Dota 2 International for 2017 wrapped up just a little while ago, and Team Liquid stomped home to a victory over Team Newbie. It was 3-0, the first ever clean sweep that's happened in the Dota 2 Grand Finals. Team Liquid walked away with something like $13.5 million for their troubles. This guy, a tattoo artist called A. Paloro, said that if Team Liquid won, he'd get a tattoo somewhere on his body, and he came through. What a champ. Melbourne-born Kai P on Team Newbie represented Australia at the Dota 2 Championship. They came second, as we said, and he's rumoured to have walked away with just over $1 million for his troubles. As we move right along, Melbourne City Soccer Club has signed their first ever eSports member. Marcus Gomes is 20 years old. He's one of the best FIFA players in Australia. He's the top 32 in the world. And it really represents a turning point for esports in Australia as we see teams really start to take esports seriously and sign players to their teams. A real football team playing real physical football have signed a FIFA player. And this is what Gomes had to say about him being signed.
It is a dream to sign for Melbourne City. I see it as a huge honour to be the first FIFA player to be signed by an A-League club in Australia. And they will help me stay at the top of my game, be at the top of the rest of the world region, and continue to make finals both in the rest of the world and the whole world.
The Nintendo World Championships are back for the third time ever. They started in 1990, had a massive break until 2015 for Nintendo's 25th anniversary, and they're back now in 2017. They say it's a World Championship, but unfortunately all of the qualifiers which kicked off yesterday are taking part over in America, so you'll need to go over there if you want to be part of it. And the qualifiers are a Mario Kart style event in two brackets, 12 and younger and over 13 years old. So it looks like it's going to be a time trial style event in Mario Kart with a set kart, with set tracks. And if you win all the way through there, in the past, back in 1990, I know Nintendo gave away a car, some very limited consoles and some limited games. In 2015, they gave away a huge prize pool. In 2017, we don't know. No one said so far what their prizes are going to be, but knowing Nintendo, it'll be some pretty cool loot, probably some exclusive things as well. So if you're interested and you're in the States, go down and check it out. I believe the events are exclusive to Best Buy. Talking about Mario Kart, something that I've always wanted to do is really play Mario Kart for real, in the real world. And there is a speedway being built over in Niagara Falls, the Niagara Speedway, which will open next year in 2018. And they're doing a Mario Kart themed raceway. No word as yet as to whether you can bring your own bananas or blue shells, though they'll probably make you leave them at the door, unfortunately. Pete from Flaktest caught up with V, the CEO of Stirfire Studios, a Perth-based game development company. They're the guys behind Symphony of the Machine and Freedom Fall. Both of those are available on Steam, and the links to that are in the description below. V had some great advice for young people looking to get into game development. You can see the full article at flaktest.com. Up next is our free-to-play review of Gigantic, and following that, we'll take a look at the games and the highlights from last week.
Some people are saying this is better than Overwatch. Welcome to Gigantic. We review free-to-play games to see if they are worth your time. Released by Motiga on the 20th of July, Gigantic is a brand new and exciting game that looks very cool with its cel-shaded, stylized graphics. It's an action strategy game that seems to draw some inspiration from games like Overwatch and Paladins. In a 5v5 game, teams battle it out with the help of some small select creatures and their gigantic guardians. These guys look incredible, and you really do seem to get a sense of scale that reflects the game's name. I mean, just look at them. In order to win, you try to take down the enemy team, racking up points, and then you can damage their guardian, all the while the enemy team is trying to do the same thing. But this is where it got confusing. Even after going through the tutorials, we were kinda lost. The game steps you through 4 very basic tutorials that teach you how to play the game, and then you only have to win 1 match against the AI to get to level 2, where you can then play against real people. The tutorial and learning process felt very rushed and skippable, showing you only the very basics of the game, like how to move, but not explaining the finer complexities of gameplay, like what is focus, and what does upgrading those little creatures actually do, besides making them less cute and a lot bigger. Also, this hero screen doesn't make much sense. Am I picking my preference? Why do I select up to 5 here when I can pick from the full roster later? Our last major gripe is that the leveling system for your hero is not clear at all. Unlike other games where you'll see a major screen notification accompanied with an impossible to miss audio cue, Gigantic sort of just says, hey, you have like a new skill point to spend. And that meant we found ourselves not noticing when we leveled up and kept forgetting to spend our skill points, which only made the game artificially harder. We'd like to see a leveling notification like Diablo, where the whole screen explodes in celebration. Okay, rant over. Now don't get us wrong, this game was incredibly fun. It's a unique take on a game style that is really popular right now, but we were lost and had no idea what was going on for the first 3 or 4 games we played. Though, once we figured out how to play and remembered to spend our skill points, we could really see the game's potential unfold. The maps play well and look really cool, the visuals are great, and the heroes seem pretty diverse and well balanced. If you decide to step into the world of Gigantic, we'd recommend that you spend a few more matches against the AI before you venture out into multiplayer, to at least save yourself from the confusion that we faced. Once you do that, you'll be able to fully appreciate the unique gameplay of Gigantic. We give Gigantic 5 out of 10 potatoes. A Steam review did say that Gigantic is better than Overwatch, but right now, we can't agree. There is a lot of potential for this game to be huge, and we really enjoyed playing it, but for it to deliver something really special, it might just take a few updates to get there.
Play at your peak with PLE Computers. Get the Flaktest Rocket pre-built gaming PC exclusive to PLE right now at ple.com.au. It's got an Intel Core i5 7400 Kaby Lake 3GB processor, the MSI B250i Gaming Pro AC Micro ATX motherboard, as well as 8GB of DDR4 2400MHz RAM. Of course, they've thrown in a 480GB SSD, the GeForce GTX 1060 graphics card, and not to mention it looks amazing with more LEDs and RGB lights than you can throw a stick at. Get it now, the Flaktest Rocket pre-built gaming PC exclusive to PLE, ple.com.au. Welcome back to Flaktest Gaming, the eSports live show. Right now, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from last week for League of Legends, Overwatch, and CSGO.
Let's start with Overwatch highlights, and it's CSHS versus Shenton 1. That perfectly timed sleep dart there from Slazza, just getting onto Jack's Winston. He can't get to the payload in time to finish the push. Round 1 complete. McCree, watch this. Bang, bang. Negates that soldier ult absolutely beautifully. It's why they call him the man with the golden gun. That is some skill there as we come up and watch the Genji with a sneak attack. Unleashes his ult, takes out the Mercy first. Nice work. And then it's off to the soldier, negating his ult as well. Down goes the Lucio. And then it's over to the Zarya. Beautiful push there by this Shenton 1 team. And then one more here from this first match, just to show you how close it was the entire game. Unfortunately, CSHS not doing so well on the defense, and Shenton 1 getting that first match. And then, of course, it was on to match 2. We started here with a perfectly timed ult from McCree. Watch that. It's just a nanosecond. Genji tried to deflect, couldn't. Beautiful use here of Slazza's ult here. Obviously keeping his entire team alive and then getting himself a kill as well. That was nicely done. But watch out. You think it's all over, and then in comes Mercy with the res. And I thought to myself, well, this has got to be it. There's a Zarya drop there as well. But no, they managed to hold on. Soldier using the barricade to absolute perfection here, holding on just long enough to unleash sights and give Genji enough time to unleash himself as well, and that taking the point absolutely beautifully. So we move on to one more here, and that was it. Shenton Team 1 with the win and did it in absolute style. Congratulations to both sets of competitors, but Shenton Team 1 heading on into the next round. As we move on, continuing with Overwatch, it's GSCC versus Helena. Farah here, just moving on into the point and getting the hold for them. That's pretty good, but it was finally good to see the Meteor Strike, obviously coming from Doomfist, gets 3 kills and then uses that push to perfection. Doomfist playing out nicely there. McCree taking out not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 kills, and they take the point from that as well as we move on here throughout Lijiang Tower, and the Soldier 76 doing what he should be doing with those sights and taking out the Mercy. That's nicely done. It's all about timing. Look at this Orisa negate that Diva ult. Really nicely done, but couldn't hold against the Reaper being tailed by the Mercy as well. More eliminations throughout here. Zarya, beautiful use of the ult, and manages to get this incredible point capture in the end. Nice to see Winston being thrown around the map here. And the Doomfist back again. Really nice play there from the Doomfist as we move into this final piece of ult here. Diva getting a couple of kills and just enough to secure the point as well. All right, and it's on to League of Legends as we get in here at 10 minutes. Turtle Master doing what he does best, but it's not good enough to be able to protect Vermilion as he's dived under the turret and eventually taken out by Seolful. We expected a lot from this match given the standings of these two teams. SNC Cannons doing really well, and St. Andrews has been a dominant force throughout the entire competition as well. As we watch here another group fight. Tabito on a killing spree. Up goes the SNC Cannons team, and yet somehow they managed to pick up the double kill and defend really well. As we get into the 19th minute here, it's 8-4. The gold score is pretty similar as well, but this was a really nice group attack here from St. Andrews College when we thought that maybe St. Andrews would pull it back. Unfortunately, not to be the case. SNC Cannons managing to defend really well, and the final fight here coming in the 29th minute as Seolful goes down after Vermilion takes out. He's on a killing spree and was the entire match pretty much 21-8 as they get the win, the SNC Cannons. Final one here, and we expect big things because we're into CSGO playoffs at the moment. So it is SCC versus CCGS, and why so Matt not getting himself a kill and then copying it himself as well. Sky Heat with that rifle play. The entire match, he was pretty much doing that fake, copying a kill to the head there. But Seaton with a beautiful use of the pistol. Watch this. Stick goes over, and then nice with the rifle from CC, you getting the bowl. Just getting out of cover was fake and then going down as well. But this, as you can see at the top, with 50 seconds to go, was a really, really close match between these two, being semi-final one. Defensive use of bomb here, and they managed to plant. 40 seconds later, they get the win. It's 15-12 at round 28 out of the 30, and the final kill coming there for Why So Matt. Happy 3 and happy days for Seaton CC, who, in the end, eventually win the round and go on to the next semi-final.
Thanks, Pete. And that's all we have for this week. So a big thank you to our sponsors, PLE Computers, Corsair and Streamline Servers. We'll be back next week on Sunday as we move into our playoff show. We're going to be finding out which teams are that little bit closer to the grand final for 2017 for the Flaktest League of Legends Inter-School National Championship. Of course, as I said, if you are that team that's in the grand final and you're not in Perth, we will fly you over here to play in front of a live studio audience. Check us out on all of our socials on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Twitch. We've got them all, so go there and like us. Thank you very much, and we will catch you next week. Play at your peak with PLE Computers. Get the Flaktest Rocket pre-built gaming PC exclusive to PLE right now at ple.com.au. It's got an Intel Core i5 7400 Kaby Lake 3GB processor, the MSI B250i Gaming Pro AC Micro ATX motherboard, as well as 8GB of DDR4 2400MHz RAM. Of course, they've thrown in a 480GB SSD, the GeForce GTX 1060 graphics card, and not to mention, it looks amazing with more LEDs and RGB lights than you can throw a stick at. Get it now, the Flaktest Rocket pre-built gaming PC exclusive to PLE, ple.com.au.